So, good morning, friends. Welcome back to the Homestead. Welcome back to the channel. Come here and give me a hug on this Monday. Did you have a good weekend? I hope that you did. Listen, we're going to do this video today, and I hope it helps you out because I'm getting a lot of questions about this. So, I think we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about pantry preparedness, lifestyle change, your health, my health, the things that we're doing, and more. So, let's get started. So I've had a couple of you write to me, or a couple make some comments. Some were just asking questions. Some of you want me to go over a couple of things of how I still keep my pantry, or what do we do? How are we going to continue to keep our pantry with some of the changes that we've made in our diet, etc., etc., etc. So I'm going to jump in and answer the question. So I will admit to you that there was one lady, and I know you don't like to hear about negative comments, but it is an important subject to talk about because I know you're thinking about these things. And so I'm just going to be really blunt in this video. I'm just not going to hold back. So if you feel yourself getting a little triggered by something, all you have to do is click off or come back or whatever works best for you. You need to do what works best for you no matter what the scenario is, okay? For yourself, for your health, for your family, for your farm, for your budget, whatever. All I can do is tell you what we try to focus on. We're better at some things than others, and we discuss things out on this channel. That has never changed. So let's get started. So as you know, over the last couple of months, I've really pushed into focusing on higher protein in my diet, less bad junk. I have kept in good carbs, but not as high as the protein. Lots of water, and lots of exercise. That's due to personal preference. That's due to life change. That's due to spiritual change. That is due to realizing that now that we've gone through the last 5 to 6 years through the literal stress ringer, and I'm not saying that we're out of it, okay? So I'm going to try my best to not sound defensive. So please don't think that I'm trying to be defensive because I'm not. And some of you are going to say, oh, well, you still are. Well, that's not the goal, but I have to explain my position with the way some of y'all have questions, or with the, one or two that have come at me like a spider monkey. I mean, it makes you go, wait a minute. So you have to decipher, is this person just being ugly, has purposely missed the point, or maybe Patara didn't represent something at the only video they've watched ever. Maybe I didn't represent something the way that I coulda, shoulda, woulda. I don't know. So just bear with me on this. Pray for me. So I want to talk to you about my pantry, and I want to talk to you about the focus that we've had over the last, actually it's been prior to me ever having a channel, okay? The whole reason we got into this lifestyle was to be more self-sufficient, which we are, was to homeschool our children, which we were and which we fully did. My children are either in college or out now. And also to be more prepared. I have a personal opinion about preparedness that you may not share with me. I have said that for many, many years. That's why I say you need to do what works best for you, your family, and your farm. If you're an adult, which the majority of you are, you should already know that. So I'm just going to say it like it is. You should not have to rely on me, your mama, an influencer, or the neighbor down the road to help you make the best decision for you. You should look at things, weigh them out, look at your budget. It's like this. You take the turkey leg, you chew the meat off the bone, and then you take the bone and you make broth if you want to. But my point is you pick and choose what works best for you. Only you know that, okay, in terms of your budget and your health, okay? There may be a shadow in here. We're just going for it. And no, look here. There's that cabinet that still don't close, okay? So anyway, let's talk about this. So there is a difference. Let's cut to the chase. There is a massive difference in my personal life and in my personal opinion in terms of probably what you have on what I would call your more kitchen pantry. The things that you grab and use more often than not versus what you probably have Maybe you have a bedroom or a closet or somewhere in your cellar that you more use as backups for backups, okay? So I've always been an advocate for doing the best that you can. I think that you should have on your shelves, whether it is something you're using now, whether it is for a crisis scenario, okay? Food crisis, supply chain scenario in terms of foods, I think it's important that you try to stick with, as best you can, the 80-20. What does that mean? In my pantry, I have focused on more proteins, some carbs, some treats, and a lot of canned fruits, vegetables, whether they are home canned or whether they are store-bought. I do not discriminate that for people because over the years I have learned there are a lot of people that do not have the skill set in terms of knowing how to can. They are intimidated by it. Maybe they have a very low budget and they live by themselves. So I've always tried to give you options. So here's what I have. I've gone through my pantry. I haven't cleaned them fully out. Okay, I'm still working on that. That's what this season that I'm in is doing, is cleaning some things out. You should always be rotating your pantry, okay? You should always be looking to see, has this expired? How far can I actually eat this or consume this past the date that's this, even if it's sell by, eat by, whatever. I'm not getting into all of that. That's a personal preference. And just because something still might be within date, if you open it up and it's gross or rancid, you're going to pitch it, right? So I have multiple things in my pantries, whether it be my kitchen pantry, where I grab things, restock things weekly, monthly, versus things that I keep on the back stock. And sometimes we go into the back stock. I mean, if you've got 2 or 3 extra bags of, say, oatmeal back there, you may not keep it on the shelf in the kitchen, but it may be in a certain shelf in that room. So let's talk about this. So over the years, I've talked about different types of meats. Folks, I want to let you know that the majority of the meats that I have in my, whether it's now, the freezer, or even, say, back in my crisis pantry. Let's just call it what it is, okay? The majority of the meats are home canned meats, a lot of hamburger. Why? Because it's affordable, okay? I have some pork, I have some sausage, I have some definite soups with meat, like a hamburger soup, things like that. I have a lot of this, okay? And, I'm going to be looking at it. This I actually did, this just hit a year old, okay? So that's hamburger. So there's that, just to show you. Now, I also have a lot of Keystones. The things that are in your Keystone meats, and I've done several videos on Keystones. I've never had any trouble with the Keystones. In fact, they make delicious recipes. I have the ground beef. I'm looking at some of them right now here on my shelf. Ground beef, turkey, chicken, pork, and here is the shredded beef. The date on this is into 2028. I don't have my readers on. March of 2028. This particular brand, which all it is right here, they tell you on the can, if I can turn it around, is literally like water and sea salt. There it is. Oh, it's beef and sea salt. There it is right there. Can you see it? Beef and sea salt. Now, in addition to that, and I make zero bones about it, you do what you like. Okay? I have some Spam and what you would call kind of your generic type Spam. This is actually expired. This actually can be pitched, or this can actually, I don't know what you want to do with it, okay? Maybe it will keep till 2050. Okay, I'm not going to argue whatever. But yes, I have this on my shelf. Why? As I told you then, as I told you now, do I eat Spam every day or weekly? No. Do I care if you do? No. Do I think it's the most horrific thing to have on your shelf? No, not in a crisis situation. My Nana ate Spam, and it was a treat when she was a kid because they were so poor, and during the 30s and 40s, yeah, especially in Appalachia, you lived in a food crisis because most people didn't have the funds to afford good things, and they took the protein wherever they could get it. So do I have that on my shelf? Mm-hmm. Am I throwing it away? Only if I feel it's something that's totally unnecessary that I can quickly replace, or if I feel that it's, quote, gone bad. That's it. Do I have the cooked hams that I got a couple of years ago? Yep, sure do. They're still there. Are they being thrown away? No. No, they're not. Am I making this for dinner tonight? No, I'm not. See, what people are failing to realize is there is a difference between today and tomorrow. And you can't predict tomorrow. And I'm doing the best that I can, like many of you, to have backup insurance, okay? This is a protein source. Does it have a lot of sodium and junk in it? Of course it does. You already knew that when you bought it, and so did I. But at the end of the day, we go into a massive, massive tribulation, hellacious food crisis. Are you really, honest to Pete, going to throw a fit that you don't have your safe catch salmon versus this? No, I don't fall for that crap. And I'm going to tell you right now, you go for 3 to 5 days without eating anything. Anybody that says they wouldn't at least eat 3 bites of that, good on you. I'm glad you lived a good life. I hope you have prayed and repented and accepted Jesus as your Savior. But the real truth of the matter is, because we're just going to tell the truth, you're going to eat that. Because most likely, 99.9% of anybody watching this video has never experienced that type of stress, anxiety, or hunger. Push comes to shove, I will tell you right now, do I buy this to give to my dogs? No. But if I ran out of pet food and I had some of these, would I give my dogs a couple of bites of this? Is it what they should be eating? No, shouldn't be what I should be eating either. But am I going to sit and just voluntarily watch my dogs just starve to death? No, I'm going to try to make things work. I think that's the human spirit. You can argue that. You can disagree with that. You can do whatever works best for you. Go ahead and put the dog down. Whatever works best for you. That's going to be your choice in a crisis situation. These types of things that are on the shelf as a backup for backup of backup emergencies, that is what it is intended for. I hope and pray daily, pray to God that we never see that. But see, I don't take chances. So yes, I have these on my shelf. I don't regret buying them. I don't regret telling you to take a chance and looking at them. That's your decision because you're an adult. So because I have these types of things on my shelf, I have tuna. I may have that for lunch today. Could it have mercury in it? Probably. But you know what? I also have this. It's more expensive. So see, some people are able to get a little bit of this. I've been blessed to add this to my pantry in recent months, okay? Whereas if I find this and it's on good sale, I'm not a dummy. I'm not going to pass up a good sale. I'm going to put it on the shelf. Do I have 17,000 of these and eat them every day? No, but I have them, okay? You know what? At the end of the day, if I run out of cat food, I know what my cats are going to eat. Backups for backups for backups. This may not be your strategy. You may not disagree. There's something here that I'm going to show you that you're going to say, I'm allergic to it. I absolutely cannot do that. Then don't do it. Give me a hug. I love you. Then don't do it. Find something else that you can afford to put on the shelf and do that. See, that's what adults do. Ooh, I went there. Now, look here. I have peanut butter. I have organic peanut butter. Yeah, I do. I have non-organic peanut butter. I have both. I get and grab what I can find at the moment, and if there's a good sale, I don't pass it up. Do I go hog crazy on it? No, not at all. I have different types of sugars. I have honey. Wonderful. I have, I'm the molasses queen. It's my favorite thing ever. Molasses. Am I going to go into my pantry and throw away all my Dominoes or whatever sugar? No, I'm not. Should my husband be sucking this down like he's losing his mind every single day? No, he doesn't. But you know what? At the end of the day, I have sugar on the shelf. We have an option with it, and I can also barter. Because if you go into an absolute crazy town, like you're living in biblical revelation food crisis situation, are you really going to complain that you have sugar on the shelf? No. Does that mean you pour half of this into a cup and drink it today? No. It is backups for backups. It is options. Have I completely erased sugar from my diet today? No. because I'm trying to live off of what I call the 80-20 or better if possible. Now, am I going to go hog crazy with it? No, because you know why? It's going to put me in a poop storm tomorrow if I do. It would put you in a poop storm in a food crisis too. But I think it's important to think about these things. Keep options that you know you can work with available to you, but also have healthier options. What would that be, Patara? Well, honey, molasses, they keep. And there's also different things like your, this is your monk fruit, non-GMO, whole earth, golden. That's on my shelf. I'm trying to work with this. I keep this on my shelf. I'm keeping options available to me, okay? Regular pantry every single day is tons of fresh fruit. Canned proteins is not just meat. I assure you, I have more beans than your local Cracker Barrel. We'll talk about Cracker Barrel on another time. But canned beans, dried beans, and tons of beans that I've canned as well. Again, I try to keep a lot of protein on the shelf. You're going to need a lot of proteins. And then you're going to need a lot of mix with certain types of vegetables for your vitamins so you don't go into a vitamin deficiency. That's another whole explanation and conversation, okay? What else? Cleaning supplies. I have the junk some of you won't buy at the Dollar Tree. I'm very well aware of that. You do what works best for you. I want backups for backups. I also have your Tutti Frutti, go woke, go broke. Some people buy it, some people don't. I like Myers spray. So I try to keep a little stock of that. This is what I use on a daily basis, literally on a daily basis. Here it is right here. I just got this is the mint, not the basil. Boom, right there. But oh, heck fire. I also have Dawn dish soap. So see, I live in the world of reality. I live in the world of today, making the best decisions that I can with what I can get on sale or what I can afford or what works for me. But I'm trying to balance it to a healthier position. But again, this is your insurance, okay? Now, in terms of your wheat, I have options. Folks, I have wheat berries. I have lots of wheat berries. I also have long-term storage flour. I keep your red winter wheat. You see that right there? This doesn't go, this is dated until 2041. It's on the top, it's a little heavy. And I've had this a long time, okay? And you can see right there, 2041. The long-term storage of this, they don't even make this tag anymore. This is from I call LDS for short, okay? You know, I had worked with them for several years. This has a 30-year shelf life. So 2041 minus 30 years is 2011. I've had this in my pantry with others since 2011, okay? Okay? So this has been going on for a long time. I have the white and the red, but you know what? Am I going to get that out every day and grind my wheat? Well, some of you do. I think that's wonderful. I think you should have the capability to do so. I think you should have the want to and the know-how, but I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I'm grinding wheat berries every single day of my life. Now, that may change soon. I don't know. I mean, you know, we're figuring some things out. We're making lots of changes and progress, but I know how, and I have that option. That is what a prepper does. But in addition to that, oh, Lord, what's she doing? Look here. Self-rise flour. This is sitting right down here. So if I want to cheat and make me some quick little biscuits, because I don't want to do with my plain flour that's sitting right there also, I've got White Lily self-rising flour. Sure do. This is the enriched self-rising, the unbleached one. Yeah, I do. When I make biscuits on some of my videos, or I make cornbread or different things like that, or fry bread, absolutely, you see me using this. I make no apologies about it. Is this going to last me 5 years? No. Typically, I think mostly you'll see flour like this may last up to 18 months. I've got one in my container or one or two still sitting on the shelf as the backup for this. But if I fall into a massive crisis, you know where I'm going, baby. You know what I'm doing. So see, you have to live in the world of reality. You have to understand that necessarily what is in your kitchen pantry may not be what you're going to use in an actual crisis. If you're smart, what you'll do is the things that are sitting on your shelf now, you're going to process through those things first as best you can, okay? If you're not going anywhere because you go into a Civil War or World War III, yeah, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to be flipping biscuits. Is there going to be all kinds of butter and all of these things? Well, I'm going to use what I have and use it up and try to stretch it as far as I can within the time frame that it can be properly used until it goes bad, rancid, or is gone. I'm going to do that before I ever start pulling these bad boys out. Tell me you think the same. Now, what else, real quick? Oh, I had to show you this. Lord, she's a fraud. Okay, yeah, I'm a fraud. Sure. I have one ramen noodle on my shelf. I don't know how long it's been on the shelf. Have I bought ramen noodles in the past? Yeah, sure have. Do I think you're bad if you have them? No, I don't. Because at the end of the day, again, are you going to sit there and go for 5 days without food because you refused in the last bit of food that you have to eat ramen noodles? You can sit here and tell me that's what you're going to do. That's your decision. I don't know. But most people are going to eat the ramen noodles. So see, I have one available should I need it. And I don't apologize for that. Because that's the best that, at the time that I bought this, that was the best that I could do to help prepare myself for what I feel is always a pending situation. This is why I tell people, you may not be able to afford the best of the best, whatever. Do not let these food snobs push you out of being prepared. I don't think that you're a bad prepper because you've got some Spam on the shelf. I don't think you're a bad trying to be a bad health-driven person because, you bought some sugar. I don't believe like that. I do think you should try to aim for the best in terms of what will keep the best that has the highest nutritional value. But don't let these people come in here and try to play up your mind and make you feel guilty because, you went to a restaurant. Look here, last night I went to a restaurant. My parents took us out. We went out to dinner with my parents. Okay, and I'm all about this high protein cottage cheese meats and da-da-da-da-da. Lower carbs. Am I no carbs? No, I'm not no carbs. I try to eat better with complex carbs. But last night, look here. I had a quesadilla, and it was so delicious. And it had feta cheese in it, and it had apples in it. What? I know, I couldn't believe it. And then it had a little bit of sour cream and the tomatoes and lettuce on it. And then I ordered a side of black beans. And I ate a few tortillas. I did that. Does that make me a bad mother? Does that make me a bad healthy person? Does that make me a bad prepper? No. I went to dinner and I lived. You've got to live with what is real. You've got to live with what you can do. Yeah, I've got one of these. I'm down to one. Cookie butter from Trader Joe's. Y'all know I have a love affair with it. Am I eating 4 or 5 tablespoons a day? No. Am I even eating 4 or 5 tablespoons a week? No. But today, for a snack, if I cut a fresh apple and I want to put a little bit on the plate and doop, I'm going to do it. That doesn't make you anything but human. So let's all be kinder to each other in terms of doing the best that we can. We have been through the ringer the last 5 years. Are we out of the woods? No, nowhere near it. So what I suggest you do, which is what I'm doing, is going through my pantry and trying to go, okay, realistically, I didn't need that over the last 3 years, whatever, 2, 4, 3. But am I going to keep that? Is it still keepable? And at this point, can I change it to something better? What would that be? And does it work within my budget? For last example, here we go. So on my shelf, I have some different highly processed oils or cooking items, such as vegetable oil. I had some vegetable oils or your Crisco. I also had the container of Crisco. Honest to Pete, guys, I use that stuff a couple of times a year at best. And the only times I can tell you probably within the last 5 years that I've used it or that I have knowingly consumed it in terms of somebody was cooking something and I knew they had used that was either with probably cornbread or probably, no doubt, Indian fry bread, Indian tacos. Why? Because it's cheap and you have to use a lot of it. That's why they buy it. Okay, that's why they use it. Because you're not just spraying a little avocado oil on that. You're not just putting in a little bit of oil. They're not going to buy 17 pounds of butter, and they're certainly not going to pull out their larder. Go to the larder and pull out all of their lard. No, they're going to whip up some quick tacos and use the cheapest vegetable oil that was available. I have had some of that on the shelf. It has gone bad, and I have gotten rid of it. I am focusing more on my avocado oil and on my extra virgin olive oil. I have butter as well. You can use ghee. You can use bacon grease. You can use bear oil. Some of those I use less than others because I have less of it. So if you're asking me what should you get in terms of oils, like your sprays if you want to, or your actual oils, there you have it. Avocado is considered basically top tier, and obviously your extra virgin olive oil. Now, if you can't afford that right now, okay, are you a bad person because you have these things on your shelf? No, you can barter with it. There's other uses for it. You can make a candle out of Crisco, okay? Everybody knows what these things are. You're not talking about things that you should be consuming on a daily basis. We're not suggesting that you have these things to eat even on a weekly or monthly basis. They are backups for backups. And at this point, if you feel like you're getting a little bit of a break, we've made it through the last several years, it's time to clean out the pantry. You should always be rotating your pantry. But let's be honest, some things get rotated easier than others. So again, this boils down to, in this final moment, do the best that you can. Yes, I think the best that you can do is canned foods from the grocery store on sale. Honey, I haven't thrown any of that away. No, I haven't, and I'm not going to. I'm going to work with what I have, continue to rotate things in a logical manner. If things go bad, I will try to replace them with something better, maybe or maybe not, because there may have not been an issue to begin with. But if you go into a food crisis situation, which the majority of us have never, ever, ever been in, logically think about what that would be like. And I'm going to tell you right now, I go for 4 or 5 days without anything to eat, and I can find some canned beans, and I've got a little bit of this. Yeah, I'm going to try my best, because the goal would be to survive. Like, subscribe, and share. Pray, prep, and be peaceful. I hope this video finds you well. I hope it answers your questions. I hope it represents this community in the manner in which I think it should. Yes, you should try your best right now to get your health in the best tip-top shape as possible. But number one, above that, you need to be getting your spiritual walk with Jesus in check. This is a time right now, even with things being difficult, even with things being challenging, even with things, unfortunately, still being expensive. You're actually in a moment of time right now where you can take some time to breathe a little bit, regroup, re-strategize, and get yourself in check. That is what we are doing. I hope you join us for this journey, because it's going to continue. Like, subscribe, and share. Pray, prep, and be peaceful. Go get your almond flour. That's right. See? Options, options, options. I'll see you on the next video.